Straight off the back of the 2-hour Italy video here. This is the following week. That 2 hours was really difficult to upload and took most of the weekend. I had to delete the majority of the content of my phone because iMovie wanted 14 gig of memory space to make that, which I didn't have, nowhere near, because that's on a 64 gig iPhone 11. So I eventually thought I'd succeeded, and then I even got as far as I completely uploaded it to YouTube, and then I realised that it was 1 hour and 30 minutes long. Well, that's not right, because I knew I had 2 hours of footage, and I looked at it and it chopped the last half an hour off it. So I caved and did something that I've been, well, not meaning to do, but reluctant to do, I should say, for about a year. And I've got myself another phone. So I'm hoping that the quality of the footage has improved. Certainly going to be easier to upload stuff because I've now got a 256 gig iPhone 15. So memory, at least for now, shouldn't be an issue. I can't believe so many people watched it to the end as well. So this is Germany, the A30 in Germany. Just not long been in Germany. On my way to Poland. This A30 is a drag. You come into Germany at Bad Bentheim, and as soon as you come into Germany it goes no overtaking, and it is no overtaking along here until you get to the A1, which I think off the top of my head, don't hold me to this, it's about 60 kilometres, 65, how far is Osnabrück? 56 k's to Osnabrück. So yeah, it's about 60 k's of no overtaking. But it's just, it always seems to go so slowly, this. I'm doing 75 kilometres an hour now. This is one of them stretches where I just don't overtake on here. You know, I am known for going for it. You know, and just saying, oh well, you know, I'll just pay the fine if I get caught, or I'll just pull out and go for it. But I don't know, along here, a lot of other people I talk to feel the same about this stretch. It's a big risk along here because they know it's a long stretch. These motorways that sort of lead into and out of most countries are normally pretty closely policed as well, because they like to collar people just as they get into a country or just as you're about to leave. So you do see a lot of BAG vans and a lot of police along here. So yeah, just always take it easy along here, along this stretch. Get past the A1 and there's still no overtaking, but there are good stretches where you can overtake them. and then down to the A2 at Bad Oeynhausen. Get on the A2 at Bad Oeynhausen, and then you're away then. Across to Berlin. Lots of overtaking up there, lots of 3 lanes, all 3 lanes, isn't it? Might all be 3 lanes. Yeah, anyway, lots of overtaking up there. So we'll just wait for that. This insignificant looking stretch of motorway at the very end of the A30. The A30 didn't used to end here. It used to end a little bit further back. So you'd come all the way down the A30 and then you'd have to go through the middle of Bad Oeynhausen, which was a relatively straight road, 2 narrow lanes dotted with traffic lights, and it was an absolute nightmare all the time. I can't ever remember going through Bad Oeynhausen and it not being really bad with traffic. So when they bypassed it with this little stretch of the A30, it made a massive difference. And yes, they may have taken, well, not may, have taken a little bit of the character out of this journey with this nondescript stretch of tarmac. But most times I come down here, I'm not really bothered about that because I just want to get on. Joining the A2 very soon. And heading for, well, not ultimately at all, but heading like towards Berlin. And at Berlin, I'm gonna turn right, head for Cottbus, and go into Poland through the border there. Well, not there because it's a bit past there, but that's the way I'm going anyway. Got all this memory now. I could make like a 4-hour video, couldn't I? Takes forever to upload them. I left it going on Saturday night. I just left it plugged in downstairs. I just left it going, and I went down at about 4 o'clock in the morning to see how it had got on, and I don't know how long it had taken, but it was going for about 2 hours before I left it, and it had only done 37% of the video after 2 hours. And we have good Wi-Fi as well. I was watching, there's a fella I watch, it's a weird channel name, I think it's KT3406E is the name of his channel. He's an American fella, and he works on predominantly cat machines, and he released a video the other week that was 2 hours long, and I I'm having some of that. I'm going to do that myself. Seems to have been fairly well received. So I'll keep this going until we get on A2. And then, yeah, I might film some of Hanover and all that business. Get back to my audio book in a minute. See how this new camera handles this tunnel. New camera, new phone, you know what I mean. Yeah, about the same as the old one did. Not very well. Listening to a book called The Stars Tennis Balls by Stephen Fry. I've listened to it before. In fact, I've listened to it a couple of times before. It's one of me go-to ones that I listen to when I can't think of anything else to listen to. Another one on that list is the 39 Steps. Another one would be Vintage Stuff by Tom Sharp. That isn't on Audible, but it is on YouTube. It's on YouTube as an audiobook. There's loads of them. Big fan of books, big fan of audio books. Right. Round onto A2, it'll be no overtaking when I join the A2, but that'll end really quickly. Taking. Time for the auto off at Port Westfalica, which is a dump. And the end of the overtaking. I think this guy will want to go out as well. truer on camera than it does in real life. So Hanover, the home of VW and Continental tyres. So this is obviously the split for Hamburg at the 352. Short little motorway. And if we were going back to Sweden, that would be the way we would be going. We're not. We're going east. Oh, I got told off in the comments as well. We're calling Eastern Europeans. They like to be called Central Europeans. But they're not to us, they're Eastern Europeans. Sure, they call us lots of names that we wouldn't be pleased with. There's a speed camera up here, and it got me twice in the same day once. Right. That's it. I'm going to come back when I've got something actually interesting to film. So this place here, Marienborn, is the old west to east German border, and all the buildings, pretty much everything as far as I can tell, is still there. If you go into the border, because you can park in there, if you go into the border and you can walk around all the old buildings, and there's great big like information signs there in English and German explaining what used to go on there and how things were. Just above the tree line here, where there's a services sign here, just above that, I don't know if you're going to see it or not, is the remnants of an old watchtower. Just that, yeah, just see it. Sign there telling me that the roadworks go on for another 11 kilometres. Thank you very much, Germany. this is the border, or what used to be the border on the right. With all the lights and the control tower there, and out the back all the buildings. Very quiet in there as well. If I'd have known it was going to be, it's usually rammed in there this time of day. If I'd have realised it was going to be that quiet, I'd have driven through. But yeah, that's us in East Germany now. Or it would have been pre-1989. It was 1989, wasn't it? I think so. I think it was 1989. Now the following morning, really early as well. I almost feel like a proper lorry driver out and about at this time of day. It is 3:30 in the morning, English time, so 4:30 here. I never started this time. I bet it's been 2 years since I've been up at this time of day. Maybe not that long, but certainly a long time. Easily a year. So yeah, I want to crack on though. Rejoin the motorway down here. Really pleased with how that Italy video's gone. Everybody seems to have enjoyed that. I feel like this one's going to be a bit of a letdown compared to that one. I'll do my best. The motorway sign there, it's not the motorway, but it is. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, it's not the way I want to go. German checkpoints on the other side. That sun ain't doing us any favours, is it? Well, it's not the sun, it's the windscreen's a mess. But it's a constant battle with flies at this time of year, unfortunately. Guy behind me has just pulled on to the slip road for that parking area, and he'll have pulled on to change countries on his tacho. He's supposed to stop and change countries, like tell it you've gone from Germany to Poland, but you're not supposed to do it on the hard shoulder or on slip roads for junctions and stuff like that. What they say is you've got to stop at the first safe place, and that ain't a safe place to stop. So I am going to do it at the services down here, which is only 4 k's away, less than that now. Couple of things about driving in Poland. You're not allowed to overtake on 2-lane stretches of motorway, whether there's signs or not. You're not allowed. And there's 2 different toll systems. So some motorway stretches are privately owned, and some are publicly owned. So some you have to pay on your card, and some you can pay with the toll box in the window. It's all very complicated stuff. One of my favourite countries to drive in is Poland. No, yeah. Bit bumpy. I'm going to run in here, get a coffee. Select country, Poland. Right, that's that done. Brew time. The woman in that petrol station was a bit aggressive. Although saying that, I mean, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? And she's working in a petrol station. How friendly do you want her to be? So this is, yeah, could be anywhere, this, couldn't it? Sweden. Anywhere. Well, not anywhere, I suppose. Pretty much. That big bridge I've just gone under. Big tunnel bridge that I've just gone under isn't a road bridge. We don't see that kind of thing in the UK. I can't think of a single one. I might be wrong, but I can't think of a single one. But you see them over here all the time. Because these motorways have basically sliced through a great big patch of countryside. What they've done here is they've sliced through thousands of animals' natural habitat. So they build these bridges, they call them like eco-ducts in Belgium and Holland and that. They build the bridges so the animals can get across. All the tiny little ones as well as all the big ones can still traverse this countryside even though the motorway is here. And you get them all the time. This one's got a little road over it. That one there, which has gone under. But this one hasn't. This is just for, yeah. Animal foot traffic. That's our first toll booth in Poland now. Yeah, unfortunately there ain't a lot of scenery in this part of Europe. he didn't like Switzerland. I've tried and think of something to make it more interesting here. So I'm gonna tell you a Poland story. Where was it? PTM. When I first started at PTM, we did loads of Poland. We were doing it all the time. It was a lot of Warsaw we were doing. I had my FH16 600 version 3. Really nice truck that. Went really well. And I tipped in Warsaw on the Friday morning, and I wasn't booked to load. There was a load of Kinder eggs. I was trying to think of them. But now, if you're Polish or you speak Polish, I apologise. But it was Belsk Dutzy, is how I'm going to say it. I know that's not correct, but anyway, that's where I went. 11 o'clock Saturday night I was booked in. It gets down there, gets loaded, gets on my way, drives back across Poland, and I am out of fuel. I'm zero fueling. Absolutely nothing. It's well into the red, and it's been in the red for a while. And we used AS24 cards. There's an AS24 at Torzim. Right dingy little place. And you turn left outside it. I think it was like a Volvo construction equipment company. He's got a puncher on that truck. He's inside, as we're looking at it, left tyre. Don't know if that's coming out on camera. It's completely flat. See it wobbling from side to side. Oh, just forget what I said earlier on about overtaking for a minute. And do you know what? I'm not going to try and tell him. He's sat there reading his paperwork. I'm gonna leave him with it. Criticise me for that if you like, but I've got reasons for doing that. Yeah. So you turn left outside this Volvo spot. You go down this lane, and there's a right dingy little AS24 down there. Really dimly lit, old style pumps. It's early hours of Sunday morning. It's middle of winter. It's freezing cold. It's foggy. Gets on the pumps, sticks the nozzle in, and you can hear the diesel in the bottom of the tank. It's that low, and so I'm really pleased to be there. I'm stood there minding my own business, and I see his headlights coming down the lane, headlights of a car. So I sort of didn't really take too much notice of it. This car really slowly came down this lane, got to the AS24 site, and stopped on the lane right opposite me. So he's about 20-25 feet away from me. And it was a black Volkswagen Passat, and it had 3 blokes in it. And they just came to a stop, really slowly came to a stop right opposite me. And they all turned in unison and looked at me. So I'm stood there, trying to look like I'm not bothered. Even the driver's leaning forward, looking at me. And I can see them talking to each other. They're all just sat there looking at me. And I'm thinking, if a door opens on that car, I'm going to rip the pump out, I'm going to rip the nozzle out of the tank, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to jump in the passenger side, jump across, and I'm gone. And we just sat there. You bear in mind, this is like a 600 litre tank I'm filling. And we just sat there. They sat there, I stood there, staring at each other. The entire time it took to fill this tank. The pump clicked off. Now normally I'd fill the tank properly, and I had another tank on the other side that I should have filled as well. The pump clicked off when it was full-ish. Just really, as casually as I could, put the nozzle back in the pump, put my fuel cap back on, got back in the truck, fired it up and drove off. And that was the most unnerved I think I've ever been. Because if them three had got out, there's no way, I couldn't have done anything about it. It was just, I always wonder what they actually wanted. Were they police? Or, I don't know. Were they just having a laugh between themselves, trying to scare me? No idea. But it was a really strange thing to do. Yeah, I was only going to Belgium, do a changeover. I was going to do a changeover at Mia and go back to Poland. So I had enough to get to Mia. So I went to Mia and filled up the following day. But yeah, it was a very, very strange experience, was that. Actually made my first YouTube videos in that truck as well. But I deleted them from YouTube. Well, for one, they weren't very good. I'm not saying that these are, but they were terrible. And I didn't appreciate the amount of hate I was going to get. I'll stop for a break. I'm not as far on as I wanted to be here. There's another parking area 20 kilometres down the road, and I'm going here. I would have preferred to make it to that one, but I've only got 14 minutes driving left, so yeah, I'm not going to make it, am I? So it's this one. Right. I'll wander across to the shop and spend some money, I think. I let this fella out at the bottom of this hill, and I'm regretting it now because he's holding me up. many of these as I can before this 3-lane stretch ends. Used to load down here, tick J, when I was at PTM. You don't really see much of the town, city. I was going to say town, but I stopped myself. It's probably a city, isn't it? Katowice. But yeah, anyway, you don't really see much of it. Big new motorway. Not like Prague. You see a lot of Prague when you drive through there. Yeah, it's just big shiny new motorway. Come on then, don't brake. onto the steering wheel in there, he is. Just don't get, I've said it before, I do not understand why people find joining the motorway so difficult. Because it just isn't. Why is it everybody starts trying to ring me as soon as I turn camera on? Yeah, it's like I say, you don't really see much Katowice because of, like, yeah, it's just big new motorway really. Which is great if you're trying to push on, which I am, but sort of not so great if you want to see some interesting stuff. That's us that. Just keep following for Krakow. I think I've got it wrong lane here. I've definitely got it wrong lane here. Yeah. I thought then that lane I was in might not do quite as well as the lane to my right, but I came out in exactly the same spot because I was behind this fella when we went in, wasn't I? So yeah. I'm halfway through listening to a Joe Rogan podcast with Annie Jacobson, so I'm now worried that Russia are gonna launch nuclear missiles against us before I can get tipped today. So yeah, we need to crack on really. Not very far away now. The Polish are really keen on speeding through towns. Another thing you've got to be dead careful of in Poland is the police leaping out of bushes and from behind bus stops and because they are really keen. This is a proper Eastern European thing as well. These billboards at the side of the road. Yeah, dotted all along the motorway, and they're everywhere. it's, I was going to say obviously it's the following day, but it could be that night, couldn't it, I suppose? But it's not, it's the following day. It is very early, is what it is. It is 2:10 in the morning. Oh, and to reinforce a point I made yesterday about speeding in Poland, came through a village about 20 minutes ago, and there was a policeman out there with a radar gun. They love it. It's like one of the favourite things to do. Little village, 50k limit, 1:45 in the morning. Fortunately, I learned that lesson a long time ago, so he didn't get me. Just been at services here. And gone. So all my bits and pieces out. There you go. Actually, I've just I haven't put my cup holder. Hang on. Yeah. So yeah, I've just been at services here, and I've got 2 chocolate croissants because I did a load of training yesterday afternoon. Did like over an hour of hard cardio yesterday afternoon because I was parked up early. So I've got 2 chocolate croissants and a cappuccino. And I tried ordering it in Polish. Didn't go down well. He immediately replied, before I even finished talking, he immediately replied in English. I just stood there looking very sheepish. He was not impressed. One thing I think is a bonus about coming abroad a lot, you've got to not mind making a complete fool of yourself, which I don't care. I used to, but you become so desensitized to it, you just don't care anymore. slightly different way to the one I came in as well. Going out through the border at Gorlitz. I prefer it here when it's cold. I'm not a big fan of warm weather anyway, but like Switzerland. Switzerland's better when it's cold. Not snowing. Don't want it to snow, but cold. Last year or beginning of this year, can't remember. I'd loaded in Dresden, but I'd ended up coming back across the A4 to Bad Hersfeld and spent 9 hours in the near side lane of the A4. And then it was about 2 o'clock in the morning as well. And police come along trying to get everybody to move, even though the snowplows hadn't been through, so nobody had moved. I tried it. Obviously, but I didn't get far. Last services in Poland is this. I feel like this video has been a lot of like just a lot of this a lot of flat up motorway and trees but I mean, I know I've said it about other countries, but it really is just like this. I think you see more truck washes in Poland. I seem to anyway. But the parking's always really good in Poland. There's always tons of places to park. And good facilities for drivers. Finish this with an extra long clip, I think. Might make that a signature of the videos. Kilometers away from the border now. Fully expecting to queue to get out of the border. It's like yesterday coming into Poland yesterday morning where the Germans had a checkpoint set up. They do that a lot of borders. I'm not going to say all borders because they don't, but a lot of borders. The Germans do that. A lot of these borders coming from the east, they do it. So I could well queue to get out and into Germany. Sign up here. Border control. I was looking at Matt Ireland's channel yesterday, and he's put a Greece video up a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I was watching that last night. He's about the only one that I can watch, I've got to be honest. There's not many. There's not many that I can tolerate watching. Is that the right way of putting it? Not trying to be critical, it's just not my thing. The way other people do videos just isn't for me. But then all of those types of channels are like 50 times more popular than mine. So, who's wrong? Yeah, there is a bit of a queue down here. It's not too bad though. I've said it before as well, it's always the dumb thing to put your hazards on, joining the back of a queue. That's my tollbox telling me it doesn't work in Germany, and as I said before, it's not supposed to be. So that's fine. Yeah, it's always a dumb thing. If you don't put your hazards on when you're stopping at the back of the queue, you're sort of the odd one out. Should I leave this going? It's a bit moving alright, don't we? I'll say that and just come to a stop, so. Oh well, not quite. Now we've stopped. These people at the border here won't bother us. They will not be interested in anything that I am doing. But if I was driving a really old 7 Series BMW with all blacked out windows, then yeah, they're the kind of things that get pulled on borders like this. Are really old clapped out vans and stuff. You're dead on for a pull driving something like that. Even this fella in front, don't know, yeah, just the type of car. Yeah, they definitely have a type that they like to stop and look at. You know, you're in a 22-year-old Vauxhall Astra, you're pretty much going to get stopped. coming through here. They're that uninterested in trucks. They've even just directed us around the control. We don't even have to drive through it. As if to prove my point, there's a quite old looking Vauxhall, well, Opel. Is it Zafira or something like that? Parked up over there, that's clearly been seized. Back in the fatherland. That's it.